Hello everybody joining us on YouTube. This is the first episode of the sneak preview stream as to what comes next. And when we left off last time, things were a bit of a mess. That's the best way of describing it. Down here in New Dam, you can say it twice if you like. Things were a bit of a mess. We've got our first bad tide incoming. We do have this pool of water secure. On that, I am going to pause all three of these deep water pumps so that this stays hopefully nice and secure for as long as possible. These three I'm going to keep going. Might be about another half a day or maybe even a full day before they get turned off. Just going to pull what water I can before this all gets turned to horrible bad waterness. And something else I then want to go and do is I've noticed, which I just noticed as I came on, I was having a quick look around. But I've got this little inlet of water here. And I'd rather it didn't get filled full of bad water and then take hours, basically, to get back out. So what I want to do is, in essence, go and block that off. Now, to go and do that, I need to get access. So what I'm going to do is, this needs to come down here. Then, however, we are going to have to mark some resources for demolition. Luckily, I'm not using these. And I'm going to want to go and build my very first sluice, which I just about have enough resources, or science for, I should say. I've got, my resources are okay. That's going to go in there. It's going to close. No, wait, close above contamination. I'm going to call it 2%. I mean, it should clean out pretty fast as long as we have flowing water. That shouldn't be a problem. And then the last thing I'm going to go and do is 3 more workers in there. Okay, we've got 10 people currently missing. One is my smelter. 8 of them are my inventors, so that's not a problem. So we've technically got 2 people missing from jobs. Like I said, one is, let's make sure one's not him. One is my smelter. Neither of them are my food workers. Let's double check who is missing. We are missing... It's not Forester, that's paused. It's not the inventors, they don't count. It's a lumberjack flag. This lumberjack flag here. Okay. Well, that's okay for now. We've got these extra guys in, so we'll hopefully be able to go and get this transformed. I'm going to keep it on slow for a second whilst I continue to figure stuff out. And I think it's time to start tidying up, as well as very much starting to keep improving things. Now, we do have a slight problem with food. I'm hoping that's been sorted because I've gone and in the last towards the end of the last episode, built this barrier here and so held back the bad water and the contamination. So we were able to replant a good portion of this farm's area. I am going to go and plant a tiny bit more. We should be able to get that in there. And stick that in there. And let's keep extending the path. Good, they're all... Continuing to chop these out. Let's just focus on these guys a second. So I want to try and get this in before the bad water reaches me, which it's coming. Okay, he's hopefully going to go back now and start grabbing the materials for this build. Yep, it's no longer out of range. So yes, the bad water is coming. It's going to start to leak through very shortly. But with the build, we should be able to stop the worst of it. And with that, like I said, we're going to start to look at cleanup. Now, I'm thinking, because as well, one of the things, and I get we're maybe looking forward a little bit, but we're going to have to, let's be honest, is with the tube stations, you know, for instance, if your housing is in a little bit of a corner, stick a tube station next to it, and you, I feel, resolve a lot of your problems. And so, with that, our Kohlrabies are going up. I like that. With that, I am thinking of building my housing district up here to start to tidy it up. My industry, I think, will eventually move over to here. I have kind of a plan of, if I get this and cap it open, so then it's permanent, I can stick water wheels along here and have that going off there. I would probably chop it off here so we can have a few more water wheels, and that can all come down here. And then, of course, I will contamination barrier it and find a way to keep things clean-ish. I mean, we've got these two bad water sources here. I mean, I could always have it come down here, have it come this way, and then make a nice horseshoe, which wouldn't be a bad idea either. That's just a hollow hole. And then this is a great water source to be able to use to irrigate the map very well. Because over then, this, which will get blocked off, probably at about this level, I think, to begin with. Roughly where we are, I would say, to begin with, without having to build too much more. And the only thing is that, of course, we are one short by here. It's just a pain. But yeah, it's not too bad. Okay, these guys definitely all ceased to become useful. You know, this is the problem. Got a lot of things dying due to contamination now, unfortunately. And yes, even a whole lot of this. There you go. We managed to get that in, though. So we've not perfect, but we did a pretty good job of keeping this clean. Once this opens, it will obviously start to flush itself out ever so slowly, admittedly. That's also why we wanted to block it off. Help keep some good water in here. Hopefully help keep this slightly more contamination free. Definitely won't have contamination coming all the way inside here. Buildings lack power. Yes, that's because it's time to go home, ladies and gentlemen. There is no more power to be generated. Our beavers can take a break. And so, like I said, I think it is time. I think, like I said, I can put my housing up here. Because as long as I say, for instance, put a tube station here for them to have immediate access to what I'm now going to start referring to as the network, I don't think it'll be a problem. And then I think, of course, you know, we're going to start living that platform life. So after a couple of layers, probably 8 housing at most, which is, you know, going to get us an 80 beaver population. We'll start platforming it up and having all sorts of amenities and the such like on the top of that. Okay, kohlrabies are still struggling to make an impression. You be paused. The other one's actually still just about holding on, which is fantastic. But yes, unfortunately all of these have died due to contamination. And they're not in range of anything to get them rebuilt. Yes, let's go and get rid of these. These two are obviously here for now. They will disappear shortly because we've almost run out of scrap metal. And so we have a whole bunch of logs to pick up, and we are going to start to move some of our housing. Now, we need to leave a gap for, currently anyway, for stairs. We will once again replace that with a tube station. Let me remind myself, how big is a tube station? 2x3. That is the same area we need for stairs. So that works. So we will have that come in on this side. And we will eventually place that. So 1, 2, 3. We need to for now. There. And there. It leaves me space for stairs. Obviously, once I've removed this, once these have both disappeared, which is very much shortly about to happen. Let's go up to 2 speed at least by now. I want to take my time a little bit. I'm keeping an eye on these kohlrabis. I'm a little bit worried that we're not making a positive dent. We're going to have 1 person missing. That'll be one of our inventors. That's fine. We'll keep slowly getting that that science coming up. And then I think we need to start looking at what we're going to do here. Problem is, of course, is the need for science. Now, one of the first things I would need, obviously, if I'm going to fill in this gap, that is a 2-part overhang. I mean, most of them are quite small, so it's not too bad. At least I think that's a 2-part overhang. No, it's a 3-part overhang. This is a 1, 2, 3-part overhang. So I would need to buy a 4-part overhang, which costs 1.8. That's too many. 1,000 science. The materials I'd be able to afford. Science cost is a smidge high. We will need to replace that to get all of this going. And I think for phase 1, we bring it up to here. So it still all falls into here, and we don't have to worry about too much. For phase 1, like I said. And then we can get several water wheels going there. Now, obviously, they wouldn't be running full time because we wouldn't have this open full time. Wow, that is... They've gone and put that in a hole, haven't they? Because we wouldn't have that open full time due to the fact that we wouldn't, as of yet... come under water. Wouldn't have that permanently open. That costs quite a lot of resources. And we will also, I think, get a couple of bad water pumps in here shortly. Get that going as well. Right. Go and pause you two. We do have quite a bit of scrap. Let's go and build. Might just rebuild. Yeah, let's just rebuild both of you. That's not a problem. Okay, 2 of our houses are getting rebuilt. This is the first one that I want to get rid of. Yes, that will get us back 30 of our logs. And I don't think there's any point in planting any more kohlrabis. I think my farmers are working at pretty much capacity. Increasing their capacity, on the other hand, would be a grand thing. And so you go, I can go and get rid of one of these as well. What I'm going to go and do is pathing and structures. Let's go and get rid of this path. And go and build another Couple of barracks blocks in there. Then I'll remove both of these. And I could technically remove one of them already, but hey, there's a rush. We'll keep picking up all of these logs. And like I said, yes, we're kind of struggling to make a dent with our kohlrabies. Yes, if I can get my beavers to be more efficient. Which, let's take a look at one of our beavers. One of our very aging beavers, I'd like to add. It's because he's pretty much just got the basics right now. 50% done, so we do need to look at turning on our fermenter soon. And I would say, go and remove you. Got the bigger tanks coming in now. Our water's fine, so I'm not worried about having these turned on yet. I'd rather keep this filled full of good water, holding back as much as possible, which is not a lot because the water is coming through here. And as you can see, everything's died pretty much. Got a small patch over here which is doing well. Then what I do want to do, well, now I want to increase my beaver population, but I kind of have a bit of a food problem. I think I have to wait for the fermented mushrooms to come online. And so with that, I think I'm going to... Oh, we can't put one less person in my industrial lumber mill. I'm down to one. We have to definitely compensate somewhere. You may as well pause whilst we're in a bad tide. You can pause as we're not quite yet eating berries. Everybody's still fed by kohlrabies. We're just not really making a dent onto what's going on. Okay, I think we can go up to full speed. We're kind of just waiting on a few things to happen. Kind of going to go and pause this barracks. Then that can be deleted. And we'll get ready to pause this one, but it's not going to happen until next turn. Sorry, next day, next turn, because I want this to be built first, because we've actually got 31 beavers. We're going slightly above. We'll drop back, probably back down to 30 very shortly. And of course, we have an injured beaver. It happens. Because yeah, we kind of need a good extra 5 beavers in here, which we currently have 3 beavers not doing a lot. But still, that could be better. Okay, nobody is homeless. We have 9 beds over what we actually need. Things are looking pretty good. Now here's a question. Is it worth getting another farmhouse to help boost this for a short while? Well, hey! Bad water has finally evaporated from here. Look at it, all the contamination finally dropping off. 74%. I mean, we are... See how that does for the whole power network. I'll keep an eye on that a second. Yeah, see what I mean? I mean, we don't run out of kohlrabies. We're just completely at our limit, I would say. So yes, it will be good once we get these up and running. How is our power network doing? 471 out of 395. So I have, what's that, 76 to spare? How much do you actually take? My wonderful fermenter. 50. Good. So with 2 beavers working there, I can keep things going. And plus, once I get fermented mushrooms with a +2, I will actually go up in something, I think. Do I not get something on a 7? I do. Life expectancy, which, hey, isn't bad. Means my beaver count will marginally increase, but not really too much. But yes, 10 is what I would like to aim for. So, I mean, if I was to attempt to get a lovely plus, I want to say 5. I'd have to remind myself. Plus 3. That will go and cost me 1,000 science. Go and improve those. Yeah, like I said, I think the next thing... You can go and pause. We clearly don't need 2 of you working as we're full of scrap. You guys been emptied yet? You have not. Oh, you have. You can disappear. Mushrooms, 89%. I'll go and unpause you now. I assume they keep growing overnight? Or does someone literally have to be there keeping them going? What do we think, folks? The lights left on in the dark? Or they literally only go during the daytime? And it looks like they only grow during the daytime, which is interesting. Did not realize that. Yeah, see it. Overnight, it should have still gained a good 4 or 5%. It only goes during the daytime. That's interesting. And so we're going to start to... I mean, we're kind of waiting on things. Things are kind of going forward. He's grinding his teeth. That's all good. Building does lack materials. That is 100% true, but that's about to be righted. And what's the point? How much can it hold? 16. So we do actually need somewhere to go and store our mushrooms as well. Here's kohlrabies, metal blocks, planks, scrap metal. So what I'm going to go and do very quickly... Small warehouse, a capacity of 30. Yes, that should serve for now. That's going to be for raw mushrooms. Go and stick that in there. Obviously, I get it. It's only a very, very quick stopgap. Should get built as ready for that. So, because the point is they can get 30 into there and 15 into there, and that will allow them to start growing the next set of mushrooms. And so... Oh! Our kohlrabi industry has in fact started to fall behind. Let's unpause you. And we will... unpause you 3 as well, because that is very much needed. 3 inventors have now stopped. That is okay. And we very much need to unpause you as well. Let us go and pause you in the meantime. And you have been emptied. Nice. So, yep, you've been emptied, so you can now get yourself 40 water and go ahead and restart. Go and unpause you 2 as well, so we can get some refill going on our water. Okay, so we have mushrooms. Let's start fermenting them. You hold 64 fermented mushrooms. That should be okay for now. We do of course need to build storage, which I will look into shortly. But I'm going to come over here. Like I said, I want to kind of get this project started. And slowly up and running, basically. So the first thing we need to do is gain access. Now, come in this. Let's go ahead and mark these for destruction. And we will slowly start to regain access. Now, unfortunately, these are all dead. There's no chance of them respreading, even if I unmark the field. So, That's a bit of a shame. You can repause now. Started to replant, which is glorious. And look at all of those mushrooms. That's what we're talking about. Now, they're going to be obviously a bit hit and miss because we only get mushrooms once every 8 days. And although, there you go, we've gone and converted all of our mushrooms already. I don't know where we're hiding them all. Got 130 of them somewhere. Did I leave a warehouse for these things? I don't know. Hi. Where are you hiding your mushrooms? Okay, no, we haven't got any mushrooms anymore. Maybe I was reading that. In fact, I think I was reading kohlrabi number. So like I said, yeah, it's only a brief, should we say, impasse, but it does actually... Didn't improve anybody's happiness. Huh. It does help, because the point is it kind of gives our kohlrabi industry a couple of days to actually get some stockpile in, which works just beautifully, really. And then over here, as I said, we want to... Well, hang on, let's plan this backwards. That's usually how it works to the greatest effect. So we want to... We need that platform there. Which means we'll need that platform there. That platform there. Which means... We need to mark that for demolition. Which means we can... unmark those two. I'm gonna take 2 people out of here. Because this is not a rush project, so to say. Drought approaching. Okay, that's fine. There you go. This looks like it's cleaned out already, mostly. Yeah, that looks clean. That's good. You can now pause as well. Unpause for the next 3 days. Really pump that water in. Got space for it. What do we go up to in water? 1080. Yes, we've got plenty of kohlrabis to pluck. It's a case of getting the area worked. Okay, we're getting some blueberries coming back in. That's good. Everything else is, it's just holding really nice and steady. Okay, those 3 got built. That's glorious. So then we need to go and build our stairs. That will get us up here, basically. Then... We've got a drought coming up, which is actually very useful for what I'm about to start planning and doing. Because we're going to basically run in. I'm going to take out this one, which I understand is a little bit dangerous, because that's where the bad water technically comes to. But if I run across and take out like an extra 2 or 3 of these, then the water shouldn't even get this far, basically. That's the general plan, because it has somewhere else to flow off. Go and technically extend the path by putting that just in there. So we're going to start doing that once we get the drought coming in. Okay, no, so our kohlrabis are definitely going down. And then this, I mean, it's, what, 3 days in, I would guess that roughly is? Well, it's not actually 3 days, it's more like 10, because it's actually done in hours, not days. Because somebody has to be in there with the pumps turned on, or something along those lines. Okay, and everybody's also pumping to the heart's content. And we are going to continue moving things along. Because if I can get some power set up, which will cost me a bit, the point is I can save 6 beavers. Which is rather a lot. What I really need is the science, because, I mean, even, for instance, just to get the large water wheel is going to cost me 200 and a lot of resources. So many resources. So what I could potentially do with is a bit more storage as well. Now, our storage also needs sorting out. And is my industry going to come over here? I mean, I count this. It's food, but it's kind of industrial food. So it should all be fine there. And then, of course, we'll build something on the ground floor, and then we'll platform it up, and we'll platform it up, and we'll see what we can play with when it comes to height now. Here comes the drought. Let's go and demolish this. I'm going to come down to speed. What I also want to do is then really get in here and demolish these. We do need some more pathing for that. Because then by taking these out, I genuinely think I'm quite safe. And then what I want to do is start to slowly take these out as well. Go and pause these three. And pause one of these as well. Don't go away, folks. Okay, and then we're going to start to build these back up. Now, I did say I wanted this to pretty much come to about as far as it can go. So I do need a gap of 2. We'll go ahead and put those in as well. And then this one I'll fall down into here. How are we doing? Oh, we've got so long left on that drought. What I do want to do is let's get 2 more workers in here. I reckon we can get all of this replaced. And then I will levy up all the way up to there, basically. Like I said, with this all wide and open, which I'm going to leave very much open, we shouldn't really have any problem with the fact that I've got this open with stairs. I'll find out, don't get me wrong. But the fact that the bad water only just made it to here with a much smaller gap, then it's now got a lot more flow off speed on this side, so. Opened up another, I think I opened up about another 3 edges. That's another 6.6 flow off speed. So it shouldn't get to as far as it used to get. And even then, it didn't get to this opening. So like I said, I think we're okay. We are, yeah, I mean, kohlrabies are, they're just about doing it. I could go and build another farm, to be honest. And that would help things out a little bit. But it's just a point of where do I keep taking the beavers from? Because I definitely need, which more to the point as well. So I need 200 for that, and which I'm probably going to save up for. I need 1.5 for that, which I think I should save up for as well, because once I get the power going, I think the number crunches could be the first things that I kind of get put in place. Okay, let's go up to full speed again. That should be put up, which I forgot to do. That's going to be quite bad. Do need to have that automated. Might be time, talking about that, might be time to replace it for a sluice. Constantly let through good water, and that's it. Might be time. One mushroom in stock, but I see like 4 boxes. Right, just very much illusional. I mean, actually, ideally, I'd want this to kind of come in line with this first one, I think. But actually, to about here. We're going to build it. This is stage 1. We'll build it to where it is currently. And we've still got 11 days, and we might be able to get most of this, especially on this side. Might be able to get most of it built up, to be honest. I'm going to go and prioritize this. Got plenty of resources coming in. Let's go and pause one more. Oh, we've got 2 people board, have we? Oh, they're fully manned. Go and unpause you. Most of the point as well. Why not? Let's go and unpause you and get some more wood in. Because we are smashing through it quite fast at this point. And I do need to make sure I don't run out for before we actually get past drought. Shouldn't do. Shouldn't do. Things are looking pretty solid. Okay, let's go get this side built as well. So then at least if it goes wrong, it all falls on this side. That's perfectly acceptable to me. Right, and so as that's going... Actually, yeah, our food industry... I've said it quite a lot. I'm mostly reassuring myself, I think. It is holding on. It's holding on very nicely. Oh, you have nothing to do in range. Really? I've just not marked things for cutting, have I? Cut down this, come cut down this. How far can you go? Oh, about that far, about that far. Yeah, that should allow him to finish everything he can get to. Finish doing what you're doing. Think pull out a priority. Let's get one. We've got one guy free. Let's get him in here. He can come down, and there's not very many of them. Just get rid of these trees. You know, there's a 20, 30 wood there, and I think, I mean, obviously we'll have to see how the water wheels plan in, but I can have the power shaft coming down somewhere around here and then plugging into our industry. So that's that should be fairly easy. I like how I've got this. Ah, these are all on priority as well. That's why. And that's why you have several stages of priority. There you go, because it didn't actually take anything to go and build that. Let's get... We've actually now... No, he's back. I was about to say, we've actually lost a worker now, but no, he's back. You're not really doing much there, but there's not really much we can do. He's keeping our backup food supply going. That dead tree's not marked for cutting. Go and turn you on. And you can actually come and replant all of these. Get our resin industry back up and running. There you go. He's just also going to help with building these, because I mean, he's just going to put 8 logs in there. These only cost 12 a piece, so... Go, we've gone and covered this side completely. And so let's continue to... Still got 7.4 days. Go, and I'm getting a bit confused here. Mark resources for demolition. You guys count as resources? Nothing to do in the area. Fine, let's go ahead and pause you. You'll done your job beautifully. Gone and gotten rid of all of these trees that may get in the way at a later date. When I attempt to plug all of this into my industry. Replace all of that with levees. And we'll see how we do. We've got 6 days left. We're not even quite halfway through the drought yet. We've still got plenty of water. Not worried about that. Food is... Oh, mushrooms. Turn on the fermenter. We need to get that going. You've managed to almost empty yourself out. Right, fermented mushrooms. Here we come. If we go and get that placed in there, I mean, obviously all this is going to massively overflow. How are we doing on... Right, science. I did need 1,000. We've got 846. We are slowly getting there. I do need to replace this as well. You know what? Just mark for demolition. Why not? I'll make sure I don't build anything on it, that's for sure. Let's see if we can get those in as well. We've still got 5 days left. You know what I mean? It's looking pretty good. You, I assume, are now empty. Right. Right. Things are going along quite nicely in that direction. We are getting some fermented mushrooms. They don't last very long, unfortunately. What do I need to... That's not too bad in terms of the level of resources. It does cost me 4k science, but we'll start working on that. I think at first when I get this done, the only thing I'm going to have working off it is a number cruncher. So basically, at the points where I'm not in a drought, whether I'm either in a bad tide or normal conditions, I have a number cruncher really helping to push those numbers up. That'd be really, really useful. Building lacks workers. That's fine. That's absolutely fine. Oh, you can be paused. You've got no water to get back anymore. This has unfortunately dried up as well. That was my own idiocy because I didn't close this fast enough. You may as well open now as well, waiting for the drought to end. Look at that. We've almost fully protected ourselves from getting flooded with bad water. Not that this would flood us. It comes into... Oh, yeah, it would. It comes through here. Beautifully done. Now we'll see how much of the other side we can get done. In 3 days left. I think we've got a chance, folks. We might even be able to replace these as well. Leaving this open will give it plenty, I think, to go off. Shall see. We shall see. We are down to 3 days. 3 days construction time. I'm not even going to call it a drought anymore because it's not a drought. It's my construction time. I'm going to look at it in a positive way, folks. But on that, with things still running around in the background, we're going to end part 1 there. So for those of you watching us on YouTube, thank you very much. And I hope you'll join us for the next episode. Of course, those of you on the stream, it does continue. And so until next time, for those of you on YouTube, well, I hope you've enjoyed it. And I hope to see you again in the next part.